President brings this up all the time. He brought it up yesterday, he's brought it up before. There's a difference between the conversation that was held between leaders of government, which was this conversation, and a discussion that led directly to an agreement that as sovereign countries we would have negotiations about our partnership following the election on Monday. That's what the President and I agreed. That's what both of us reported back. And that's what I'm ready to do. And what's at stake in this election is how well we come together as a country for those difficult discussions with the Americans. And to be clear, you know, I have said well before that call, and virtually every time that I've spoken since that call, that President Trump, the Americans, want to break us so they can own us. Those aren't just words. That's what's at risk. That's why we have to build Canada strong. That's why we have to go hard. That's why we have to negotiate properly. That's not why we have to build outside options. That's why we have the plan that we do.
I asked you about this on March 28th after the call, and you said that President Trump respected Canada's sovereignty both privately and in his public conversations.
He did.
Were you being truthful?
He absolutely did. He absolutely did. Look, the President has certain things in his mind that he reverts back to all the time. But treated me as the Prime Minister, not as something else. I'm not even going to say the word he used to use about my predecessor. Treated me as the Prime Minister. We had discussions as sovereign nations. We agreed as sovereign nations that these negotiations will begin after the election on Monday. And that is how it was reported back, and that's absolutely accurate. So that's the treatment. Now, look, the President says lots of things, but the essence of the discussion and where we moved the conversation to was exactly what I said. Treated us with respect as a sovereign nation. We have these negotiations coming, and that's, just to be clear, that is what's at stake. Both things are true. The desire of the Americans and the President to own us, those aren't just words. That's a desire. And the ability of Canada to stand strong, build our own, control our destiny, and in that context, as a sovereign nation, have those discussions. What's important is the conclusions of the call, the results of the call. And those are exactly the same on the American side and the Canadian side, what President Trump's readout, our readout of the call. And those were that it was very constructive, number one. Number two, that we agreed to have these negotiations that would begin following this election, this crucial election that's happening on Monday. Thirdly, that I advised him that we would retaliate if they put in place auto tariffs. So I warned him of that, and we did, subsequently, as you know. And that I also observed the obvious point, but important to underscore it, that I would be working hard to gain the confidence of Canadians for the election on Monday, which is why, again, to underscore how crucial this election is for many reasons, but above all because of the stakes. To underscore again, the President, his ideas in his head, his designs, he wants to break us so he can own us. The question is, who's going to stand up to that? I'm ready to do it.